Thomas Anderson.
My name is Jack.
Eddie Adams.
Eddie Adams from Torrance.
Yep.
Jack Horner, filmmaker.
Really?
Yeah, I make adult films, exotic pictures.
Burt Reynolds is a successful porno filmmaker in California in the 1970s, and Mark Wahlberg plays his latest discovery in Boogie Nights, a beautifully constructed, exceedingly well cast, but not all that significant comic drama of the flourishing porno film industry in the 1970s. Certainly, writer-director Paul Thomas Anderson has all of the details and the decor just right. Burt Reynolds is some of his best work ever as the ambitious director. He doesn't push this character at all. He's centered, in control, and it's a good job of acting.
Good night, dude.
Good night, Eddie.
Good night.
Glad you came by. You're great.
Thank you.
She's the best. She's a wonderful mother, you know. She's a mother to all those who need love.
His young protege, played by rap singer turned Calvin Klein model Mark Wahlberg, has been hired for his sexual stamina and his size.
You ready? Yeah. Okay. You're gonna make your entrance through this door right here. He'll call action. That's your cue. You got the lines to the scene? If you drop one, just call for it. Do not stop. Okay? Do not stop. You want some water or something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. You're fine.
Other characters in the porno industry include one played by Don Cheadle.
You have to get a new look.
Why don't you get a new look?
I have a look, okay? The look I have is just fine.
What's your look?
Chocolate love. All right?
I particularly want to praise the casting of this film in big roles and small by Christine Sheeks. Every role of the large cast is perfectly realized. But as well as Boogie Nights plays at the end of the movie in a sequence that sums up the fate of all the characters, I was left cold, frankly. Their fate seemed arbitrary, and I certainly found no larger meaning in this film. That's why you're getting a positive, to be sure, but mixed review from me.
Mixed?
Yep.
This is on my list of the 10 best films of the year. This is a wonderful film. And that last sequence with the guy throwing the firecrackers...
Well, I'm talking about...
That was a fab... You've got to admit that's one of the best stretches of film you've ever seen.
No, I don't.
It
but
is,
that isn't what I was criticizing.
Okay.
Because what I was saying is when we see all of the characters...
Well, you know, there isn't a point. You know, there isn't a point. These people are in a movie that tells a story about a pointless existence. And for a while they are able to persuade themselves that there is a point, that they're stars, even in this genre. And then at the end, it all comes to pieces again because drugs destroy them, video destroys them, and the mob destroys them. And they try to go out into the real world again, and you're really kind of lost. That's the whole point of the film.
But wait, Roger, you just said it has no point, and then you told me what the point was. But beyond that, that isn't enough. This is the kind of... Now, I want to tell you the excellence. Wait a second. I am praising the film for its excellence, but it doesn't tell me anything that I didn't know about this world, or that, frankly, if I gave you a camera and shot it, I'm talking about script-wise, not execution.
Oh, listen,
you can't make a film that
think
good.
Think about the Julianne Moore character, this woman who has left her husband and her child, who wants to make it as a point, who is really supportive and
You've named a very good character.
And nurturing to the other people in the film, but can't do anything for herself.
That's an excellent
Talk about
character.
the Burt Reynolds character. Talk about.
I already did.
Talk about.
I praised him.
Well, to it you praised him, but you didn't really give an idea of what a fabulous job he does of trying to keep these sad, losing, drifting kinds of people together. This movie shows an entire world. It's a sad world. It's an isolated world in which the dreams of stardom nevertheless keep them going.
The Dreams of Stardom is an old show.
They sent me Boogie Nights.
And of course, the famous flubbed line.
The wife is down in the driveway getting laid by all these guys, and Ricky Jay did this speech with me.
Legend.
And I said, do you mind? My wife is down there with an ass in her cock. I can't concentrate right now. And he said, sorry. And Paul came and said, you said ass in her cock. And I said, I did? Sorry. And he said, let's go again. So we did the scene again. And he said, you said ass in her cock again. I said, no, I didn't.
Were you fucking with him?
No. I said, no, I didn't.
It was just a brain worm.
Yeah, a brain fart. I didn't. I said, no, I didn't. I said, check the tape. And he said, let's just go again. Turns out I did it the second time, and the third time I did it correctly. And Paul, and this is why he's Paul Thomas Anderson, he decided there was some wisdom, there was some truth in the reason that I said it wrong.
You were losing
and he
your
used
mind.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a film, Boogie Nights, that people absolutely loved, and I'm told that you turned down the offer to do that movie 7 times.
That's true. I have a hard time with that whole, I'll better use another adjective. I have a difficult time looking. It just wasn't my kind of film. You know?
Right.
So I
the
thought
subject matter of making pornographic films and all that made you uncomfortable.
It did. It made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid they might recognize me.
Is this true that you were even after shooting the movie, I'm told that you were so uncomfortable about making the movie that after the movie was done, before you had even seen it, you wanted to hit the director, Paul Thomas Anderson. You wanted to hit him in the face.
No, I didn't want to hit him in the face. I just wanted to hit him. I don't think he liked me.
Really?
No.
He had such a, I mean, you gave such a brilliant performance in that film.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you really did, and perfect for that role. I heard at the time that you didn't even want to see yourself in Boogie Nights. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't watched it?
No, I don't want to see it.
It's fantastic. Come on. You could come to my place. We could watch Boogie Nights and get comfortable.
Oh, I might do that.
Okay, all right. I screen it regularly.
Watch Conan weeknights, TBS.
Oh yeah, one of my all-time favorites right there, yo.
This opening sequence, I mean, how long did you have to rehearse this one?
We rehearsed it the whole night before. We didn't even shoot anything. We did like maybe 6, 7 takes of this whole scene, and that was it. Well, there was a dive bar right across the street.
A dive bar?
A dive bar. So Julian and Moore and myself, we went in there and we started playing pool because they said it's going to be a minute.
Okay.
So we thought we told one of the PAs that that's where we're going to be. We're up to like our 5th game of pool, and somebody runs in there. Oh my God, we've been looking for you. It's like, dude, we're 15 feet away from you.
Wait, who were you most excited to work with?
I mean, it was great working with Bert. I mean, Bert was like Mr. Iconic on the set, you know what I mean? But
and this was his comeback role.
This was his comeback role. I only wish he would have supported the movie more.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, did I just say? Yeah, no, yeah.
The tea has been spilled.
I always say Boogie Nights was the funnest summer of my life, you know, because it was filmed all throughout the summer. It was just pool parties and doing fake cocaine, and it was fake, by the way. It was like the cocaine in that movie was made of like lactose or like the sugar that's in milk, I think, and then dried. So we'd snort that stuff, and in a weird way, it would make you hyped up because it was sugar, you know? So you get these like bursts of energy when you do it. I remember thinking, like, what's happening to this cocaine that I'm snorting? Because we're doing a lot of it on camera, you know? And then one night I was getting home and I was like in the shower and I was blowing my nose in the shower, and like these chunks of white sugar-like gelatinous stuff started coming out of my nose. I was like, oh, that's what happens to the cocaine. It just lives in my sinuses until I eventually like absorb it.
Okay, I love these little.
I think he's a very young, uneducated, innocent, gullible kid. You know.
Hello, Slime
He's just
Golem.
looking for love and.
I love these micro interviews that they do with him.
There was one time I was supposed to be kissing this girl, and I'm like, how can you kiss a girl in front of Burt Reynolds? You know, this guy is the king and lady killer, you know, ever since I was growing up, you know? I think Dirk never really had any friends, you know? And all these people, I don't think he was aware of why they liked him or why they admired him. Or, you know, he just knew that they did, you know, like him, and the reason didn't really matter. you know? And that's great, you know, to a certain extent in real life as well, because, you know, and it's so funny, that's why in the script it's so realistic, is everybody is given one good thing.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Okay,
Within
this
this
is
movie, I think there's
a clip from the director's
for just about
commentary.
every character, I could draw a straight line to a real character.
It
Who
has a really
inspired
great
it.
moment.
You know, most people don't get out of the industry. Most people stay into the industry. If they do, they kind of discover Christ, or they or they die. That seems to kind of be the pattern that I've seen. And but most of the people stay in the industry. And I don't know. I don't know, like that. You know what? I gotta take a fucking piss so bad that I can't even think.
Will you quit saying pornography? Why are you doing this to me? Toronto, Cannes, Berlin, and Sundance. Everybody chat about good movies. Chat about good movies. Chat about good movies. Good movies. Good movies.
It's the Good Movie Chat About, where we have good chats about good movies with the greatest chat of all time. We love our chat. How's everybody doing today on a Saturday? Little catch up with me, since those of you who were watching last night, what I've been up to since then. On everybody's recommendation last night, I did start the day watching the VOD of Luke playing Half Sword. Dying to the barrel, just really saying I don't think I don't like this weapon about every weapon, and then failing again and again and again. Oh, that was fun. That was truly a fun time. And then I did watch a movie, and then I watched that extra long yap session. That game has the sauce. But yeah, it's a good movie chat about. We're in PTA-bruary. We're talking about Paul Thomas Anderson this month. We're talking about movies people have seen, like they've seen already. Like they don't have to be like, I have to find Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. What? Probably already seen Boogie Nights, and as you should, because it's hot take. Good film. Now, what else did I watch this week, you ask? Well, let's look. Okay. Well, this is just fucked. All right. Let's look at my Dear Letterboxd diary. All right. So, last stream was the 31st. I finished, or wait. Yeah, the 31st. I watched Battle of Algiers, one battle after another. And then Popstar we watched before the last stream. So I watched some movies this week, okay? I watched F1. It's fine. The sound is really good. It's a great sounding movie. I mean, it's insane. Also, it's a movie that understands that fireworks are cool, and it uses a lot of fireworks, and I appreciated that. Then, of course, last Sunday, we watched The Wrong Guy. Oh, boy, it was so gratifying to have so many people have it be their first watch. And I'm pretty sure basically everybody loved it because I'm a tastemaker, and I'll never steer you wrong. No, I mean, I'm hardly the first person to discover The Wrong Guy. But, I don't know, if you missed it and you haven't seen The Wrong Guy, or you're watching later on YouTube, like and subscribe. Sorry, I actually... Looking at the camera just now, I saw a part of the Letterboxd website that I hadn't noticed until just now, and fuck off. Hang on. We're gonna get there. Streamlabs. Trust me, this is worth it. Bring it all the way down. Letterbox XCX. Letterbox XCX. Letterbox XCX. Okay. All right. Sorry. I just that stun locked me. The Hunted. Now, The Hunted whipped. I had never even heard of The Hunted, if I'm being completely honest. It's a William Friedkin film. Of course, Sorcerer. More on Sorcerer in a bit, actually. Actually, the next film that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, Charlie owns Letterboxd now. And you know what? I support it. So The Hunted is Tommy Lee Jones in very much the same, like, The Fugitive mode. Basically, a very similar character. A guy who tracks people down. He's, like, the best at finding whoever. And in fact, he trained Benicio del Toro, who's the guy that he's trying to find in this. And it's just some really brutal fights. It has a really good... One of my favorite things that William Friedkin does is he does a slow speed car chase, or he does car chases through, like, heavy traffic. And it's like, you are really aware of, like, the collateral damage happening everywhere. Like, French Connection's a great example. But also, the movie's not good, but Jade has one of my favorite slow speed car chases, and that's also William Friedkin. There's a part where they get, like, diverted into, like, a Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year parade, and they're in the middle of the parade trying to go through it, and then all of the parade goers start, like, revolting against them, being like, "Fuck you, why are you trying to drive through our parade?" And everybody starts smacking at it. It's really crazy. The rest of the movie's not good, but I like the chase. Now, Surratt. See, this, I'll admit, I wouldn't say that I was skeptical at all, but there was a bit of a chip. I'm looking at my shoulder, and there was a small chip. There's a Dorito. All right, there's a little Dorito. Not even the whole Dorito, but it's like a half of the Dorito. Where, like, if you were rooting in the bag and you picked up the half a Dorito, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is a half a Dorito." You'd be like, "Oh, this is a Dorito," when I eat it. But it's small. It is a portion of a Dorito. But I had it. Chip on my shoulder about Surratt, because, you know, you could say it took the 5th international feature slot at the Oscars that should have by all rights been No Other Choice, but the Academy was not feeling No Other Choice, which is just a shame, because that movie is a delight. It's funny, it's relevant, and it's incredibly well acted, well shot, and it just got blanked completely. Now, I will say Surratt is also very well shot. Also, incredible sound. It actually has 2 nominations for... one for Best International Feature and another nomination for sound, because it's crazy. Like, it's all about this rave in the middle of the Moroccan desert, and this Spanish man and his son that are going to try to find their daughter who's been missing for months, and she was out in this rave scene, and they're trying to see if they can find her. And then it all kind of spirals from there. It ends up kind of taking on almost Sorcerer type of quality. And I'm talking about the movie Sorcerer, not a wizard. And of course, the movie Sorcerer is like the least to do with sorcerers of any movie ever. But I love it. And it started to have that quality. And then I stopped it midway through. I fed my cats, and I took care of some stuff. Just paused it for a couple minutes. The truck is named Sorcerer? There's 2 trucks, though. Is it the one that makes it? Spoiler alert. Is that true, or are you just speculating, Comatose? Because I will believe it. I don't know. Anyway, then I fed the cats. I maybe did something else, and then I was like, okay. And at this point, I'm like, I'm into this movie. I think it's really well acted, and it's extremely well shot, and it's like an interesting scenario, and, you know, I'm into it. And then I start the second half of the movie, and it kind of, like, right at the point that I had paused it. So it takes a huge turn, like, right when I unpause it, immediately following it. And, all right, if I'm being honest, I just smoked some weed, and so I was like, like, right away. And then then the movie gets more and more down that road as it goes. It gets even more just kind of piling on tragedy and grief type of thing, which can be fine. And, like, I was even for a bit like, okay, but then it just got a bit ridiculous for me. And by the end, I was really turned against the movie. So, Laszlo and Sorcerer. Okay. Of course, I watched Boogie Nights. That's a 5-star. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it. Don't worry. We got lots to talk about with Boogie Nights. Oh boy, is it? But the Cliff's Notes are a good movie. All right, 5 stars. And then you see, ooh, hang on, Bobby, 2025 release, Peter Hujar's Day, 4.5 stars. Why, that sounds like that might be upending the Bobskers. You're right. You're absolutely right. Hour and 15-minute movie has entered the fray of the Bobskers. Really loved this one. It really, it's like just a long conversation. It's based on like a real like transcript of a recording that was found, but the recording was never found. And it's this real Peter Hujar is a real photographer that is like sort of a New York artist in the 70s, so he's constantly talking about like photographing Allen Ginsberg and name dropping Susan Sontag and Fran Lebowitz and stuff. But it's really just more about, I don't know, it's just a great setup. And Ira Sachs is the director. I really loved his previous film, which also starred Ben Whishaw, Passages. Really loved that one as well. And Peter Hujar's Day is on Criterion Channel. It's kind of a mumblecore My Dinner with Andre. Hey, subs, I just referenced My Dinner with Andre. That's the perfect opportunity for you to use those Andre emotes. Let's go. But it also has Rebecca Hall, who both. So I was watching it. Abby and I were both watching it, and when she first came on screen, I just like reflexively said, she's so beautiful. And I kind of said it under my breath to myself almost. And then like 2 minutes later, separately, Abby, who hadn't heard me say it, just was like, God, she's so pretty. It's I was just saying that. It's so true. But she looks, it's like all 70s, and she like really looks great in the 70s wardrobe. It was a great time. If you're into, she absolutely is. If you're into that sort of thing, a really talky type of, it's not going to be for everybody, but it was for me. It's all about being an artist who needs to sell their work to survive with stuff that doesn't excite them, and that they wish that they could just be making stuff for their friends. That was my takeaway from it in the end. But it's got a lot more going on than that. It's really cool. Love the movie. Okay, that's what I watched this week. Not bad for a movie week. I after last week was pathetic, I got really embarrassed, and so I made an effort this week to watch some more. It's tough when people are doing great streams and stuff. When am I supposed to watch these streams? But DBJ canceled a bunch of streams, or he canceled one stream this week, and he only streamed twice, so I got to get some movies in before Go Off Kings. This is how I schedule my day. Or I watched Hunted. I watched after Go Off Kings, or well, I guess that was Sunday night. Anyway, let's do the dulls. Start with box office game. Okay, you're not seeing the date on this. Let me bring it up. Okay, we're on April 11th, 2008. 2008 April. Sony Pictures, 20 million. Okay, thank you. You know what? I'm just gonna shot in the dark this. It's not Speed Racer. Okay. 20 million. Brittany Snow. 2008. Brittany Snow top billed? Is this like a teen movie that I don't remember? A horror movie that I don't remember? Give me the tagline. A Night to Die For. Backseating is allowed, Comatose. You got something? We do these as a team. What is the Brittany Snow horror movie A Night to Die For? Prom Night. Thank you. I was not going to get that, so thank you. I especially appreciate the backseating when I'm not going to get it otherwise. Okay, so we got 115 out of that. All right. Also in its first week, Fox Searchlight. Okay, we got an indie, April 11th, indie, 2008. I'm trying to just place myself in college in April 2008. Okay. Keanu Reeves. Action crime drama thriller. Keanu Reeves. Hang on. From 2008. It doesn't have sci-fi, so I don't want to say the Day the Earth Stood Still. It does, and it doesn't have also sci-fi fantasy, so I don't want to say Constantine. I mean, I guess I can guess Constantine. Okay, it's not Constantine. Their city, their rules, no prisoners. Forrest Whitaker and Keanu Reeves from Fox Searchlight. This is like fresh off of A Scanner Darkly. No, because that would also be sci-fi. And it might even say animated. Yeah. Forrest Whitaker. Ooh, David Ayer. Okay. David Ayer, that should come on. He only made so many movies. Suicide Squad. No, I know it's not Suicide Squad. What is this? What David Ayer movie? I don't want to look up like his filmography. That's just cheating. I didn't know David Ayer made a movie with Keanu Reeves. Is it like it's gonna be some cop movie that I just forgot? What's the final gross on it? Oh yeah, it didn't make too much. Chris Evans. Yeah, we're gonna reveal it. Tom Lolo's evidence implicates him in the execution of a fellow officer. He's forced to go up against the cop culture he's been part of the entire career. I just give up. Street Kings. Okay, y'all remember Street Kings, right? Okay, this was number 1 last week. Ooh, fell from 51 million to 10 million this second weekend. All right. Who's starting it? Oh, I know what it is. Is it 21? Yup. Jim Sturgis. It's not Across the Universe, so I mean, there's only so many movies he's going to be top billed for. Across the Universe was not number 1 at the box office. Okay. 20th Century. Yeah, not Cloud Atlas. That would be 2012. Actually, I was just saying this that when we were watching Peter Hujar's Day, I was like, I think I have a soft spot for Ben Whishaw, and I always like Ben Whishaw, and I do think it's partially because I just love everyone in Cloud Atlas. I just have a real attachment for everybody that's in Cloud Atlas. I love Bae Doona. I love them all. I love them all. Jim Broadbent, who is the best in Cloud Atlas. He's my GOAT. He's my MVP of Cloud Atlas. Love Jim Broadbent. I loved Cloud Atlas, actually. I mean, of course, there's problematic aspects of it. I'm not going to defend every choice they made. I also think it's kind of, they had to do it that way, maybe. So maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I'm not going to defend the choice that we were all thinking of. But I really love Cloud Atlas. Genuinely. I mean, that's a classic example of movie that Abby and I started watching ironically, and then at one point we realized, oh no, we actually like the movie. We used to have a thing in our oh yeah, of course they couldn't they had to make him a bloke. They had to make him a British bloke instead of an Asian man. Oh man. Now Jupiter Ascending I do think is bad, but I'm going to say that one is so bad it's good. That one is the so bad it's good movie to me. But Cloud Atlas I actually do think is good. It's messy as hell, but that's kind of why I like it. But yeah, I like Cloud Atlas. I like everybody in it. All right. Number 4, it was number 2 at the box office last week, is 20th Century Fox. Okay, yep, Abigail Breslin. No. Kitteridge? Oh, the Eddie Redmayne performance where he's either barely audible whisper or screaming at the top of his lungs. There's nowhere in between. Yeah. That's really funny, Sigma Factor. I also was something, so Eddie Redmayne won his Oscar that hasn't aged well. And while the voting on the Oscar nominations were happening, Jupiter Ascending came out, and I remember it really upset me because the classic bit of, and I'm an Oscars guy, like I don't think they're good, but for whatever reason now, out of obligation, I'm always, just since I was a kid, whatever. I don't think they're a good judge of the best movies or anything. But a few years before that, there was when Eddie Murphy was supposed to win Best Supporting Actor for Dreamgirls. Great performance. And then he lost to Alan Arkin in Little Miss Sunshine. And the reason that it's speculated that he lost was because while voting for the Oscars was happening, Norbit was in theaters and the ads were everywhere. And like people speculated that, snooty Academy members were like, we can't give an Oscar to this guy while he's doing this movie. Like while at the same time he's promoting this like actively like really shitty movie. Yeah, and so they do makeup awards and shit. Yeah. Anyway, Abigail Breslin, top billed Abigail Breslin, then Jodie Foster. Buh? Oh, is it like Nancy Drew? No. I don't know this one. Adventure, comedy, family, fantasy, Gerard Butler. I don't know. A young girl has... Oh, is this Nims Island? Fuck you, Nims Island. All right. This was number 3 last week. And it's also in its second week. This movie's not doing great. Top billed George Clooney. Comedy, romance, drama, sports. Okay, now this one I've gotten before, and it stumped me, but it's not going to stump me this time. It's Leatherheads. Okay, so I made up some points on Leatherheads. 72nd percentile. I'll take it. All right. Let's... Oh, wait. Sorry. I need to go to the main page of movie to movie. Oh, I love Death at a Funeral. Okay. Ooh, okay. I'm excited for this one. I love both of these movies a lot. Let's go. Okay. All right. Last Temptation, we can get there a lot of ways. And there's so many interesting people in this. I'm so locked in on this because if I don't do well, I'm going to be embarrassed. Oh wait, where's what's his fucking face that's in the... All right. Alan Tudyk. Okay. Now we need to get Willem Dafoe, Harvey Keitel, David Bowie. I mean, really, Willem Dafoe. One of these movies is going to have Willem Dafoe in it. Let's go. We're gonna get him. Let's see a Willem. Trumbo. Is Harvey Keitel in Trumbo even? I don't know why I did Alan Tudyk when he's like the voice guy. Okay, we're gonna go dodgeball. Rip Torn. Wait, is Rip Torn in Last Temptation? No. He's in something with Harvey Keitel, though. Or Willem Dafoe. Let's go. Come on. Come on, Rip. Come on, Rip. Hang on. Oh, there's T-Bone and Weasel. Defending Your Life. Okay, Defending Your Life. Oh, I Love Dogs with Keitel. Okay, well here we'll just get easy with it. All right, Meryl Streep's definitely not a movie with Willem Dafoe. He's not in Don't Look Up. He's not in The Prom. I forgot she was in Little Women. Maybe not Mary Poppins Returns. I'm going crazy. How has she not done a movie with Willem Dafoe? Okay, wait, but she's done a movie with Harvey Keitel. Was Harvey Keitel in The Deer Hunter? Am I wrong? Okay, now we're predating Willem Dafoe's entire career. Yeah, it's Walken. You're right. Okay. Harvey Keitel. Dustin Hoffman's done movies with Harvey Keitel. And with Willem Dafoe. I'm going to crack this. The Cobbler? Is Harvey Keitel in The Cobbler? The Tale of Despero? Of course, Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Oh, another Trumbo. Lost City, Racing Stripes, Meet the Fockers. I Heard Huckabees, of course. This is the worst I've ever done in this game. I'm just gonna pick Hook. Bob Hoskins. This will phone any the parish just him. Young Comic Sans got it in 3. God damn. I'm in awe of Young Comic Sans. They're so good at any movie game. Enemy at the Gates. No, that's I don't even remember what actor I'm in right now. Oh, it's Bob Hoskins. Okay, I remember now. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Brazil. Oh, okay. Brazil, De Niro. All right. Oh, Keitel. All right. Okay. 7 minutes. All right, not my best. Matthew McFadden's in The Reckoning with Willem Dafoe. Young Comic Sans, tell me your path. I am interested. Okay, let's do my favorite one, actoral. Let's do the actoral. All right, this is an actor whose first performance was in 2002 in a crime drama thriller 6.8. I think I've already gotten it. Did I get it from the very first movie? I did. Because I recognized the first movie was Panic Room. Roofman! Oh, Roofman Dunst. Ah, god damn it. I love Roofman. Ah, fuck. Ah, Dinklage to Roofman, the Dunst to Spider-Man, the Dafoe. That's so easy. Oh my god. That's so much better than the one I did. Anyway, I did just get Kristen Stewart in 2 seconds, so that sort of makes up for it, just from knowing the very first movie in her IMDb. Just from recognizing Panic Room. I'm like, Panic Room, that's about a 6.8. Speaking of Forrest Whitaker. All right. Cinematrix. Let's go. Alan Rickman. Dakota Fanning. Oh, Eddie Redmayne. Oh, we're doing it, folks. You know we're doing it. Oh, Jupiter Ascending. Sorry. Yeah, not Jupiter's Ascending. All right. 21% picked Jupiter Ascending for Eddie Redmayne, released between 2000 and 2020. Okay. Oh, what's the, wine movie or whatever Alan Rickman did? Or was Alan Rickman the only real actor in the CBGB movie? Am I remembering that right, or am I mixing it up with something? I mean, obviously, all the Harry Potters made over 100 million. I'm sure Die Hard made over 100 million. Just trying to think if there's anything outside of those. I mean, tragically, Galaxy Quest did not make over 100 million. Dinklage, Wicked, Goldblum, Isle of Dogs, Keitel. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Of course, Wicked. Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter, those are all safe. Those are, I mean, but the thing is that I guess the percentage, because there's so many of them, what's one that people aren't going to put? Let's hit Goblet of Fire. Let's do Goblet of Fire. Or no, let's do Half-Blood Prince. Yeah. 4%. Okay. And I guess all the Harry Potters work for this too. With the title contains the it's Prince of Thieves. I bet made over 100 million. I should have guessed him there because he's sheriff of. Anyway, Dakota Fanning. actually, well, actually, I don't know if it made over 100 million at the box office. 5% there. Bad Times at the El Royale. I'll take your word for it that she was in that. A movie I have seen, but I don't remember. Oh, not in that. Where's Alan? No, Alan Rickman couldn't have been in that. He was dead. I mean, actually, and then at the fuck? Oh, why isn't it picking up Fantastic Beasts? Fantastic Beasts. Come on. Oh, Dakota Johnson, not Dakota Fanning. That's all right. 43% on that one. And you know what? I just don't even care about the rest. Sure. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm over it. All right, is that all the dulls? Because I don't like doing the other Matrix one. Okay, I'm going to say that's all the dulls. Hey, everybody. It's PTA-bruary. Oh, shit. I forgot to do my background music. Sorry. Hang on a second. It's been so quiet, and I, all week, was adding stuff to my sound font playlist for background music. And now I've just totally blanked on playing it. Anyway, let's go with one of these, like, yeah, we'll do that. All right. It is the Good Movie Chat About, and we are talking about Boogie Nights for PTA-bruary. Now, this is, of course, Paul Thomas Anderson's second film. Oh, I just realized I'm not on the call. Let me jump in the call now to make sure that's all good. All right, I'm in the call. Of course, if you want to join, just feel free to hop in that waiting room, and I will see it and drag you in here as well. Boogie Nights. So this is the second movie from Paul Thomas Anderson. It came after, of course, Hard 8, a movie that I just saw for the first time like less than a year ago. Of course, I loved it because it has Philip Baker Hall in an amazing performance. Also, one of the very first, the first like meaty role that my goat, John C. Reilly, got. John C. Reilly's so good in it. Philip Baker Hall's incredible in Hard 8 as well. You got Samuel L. Jackson. Now, I always say Samuel L. Jackson's the most underrated actor because people take him for granted. They think it's just Samuel L. Jackson doing the Samuel L. Jackson thing. But he's actually a really good actor, like legit. He's such a believable guy as himself. People are like, oh, he plays himself, but there's actually a great deal of variety in the roles he plays. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Samuel L. Jackson's not in Boogie Nights, but a lot of the people in Hard 8 are. There is a good bit of crossover. Of course, Philip Baker Hall, when he comes into Boogie Nights, is like an agent of doom. But that was sort of a low-budget indie kind of thing. But still, some good people in the cast, and it got seen, and it was pretty impressive. And so now Paul Thomas Anderson gets to make just an unbelievably ambitious second film. It's actually crazy to think about. This is his second movie. He has all these different actors in it. He's balancing all these different storylines. And I think it was a perfect storm kind of a movie to succeed because the hook of it is irresistible. You saw it with the fucking was anybody watching the Siskel and Ebert review? It's actually so stupid. It's one where Gene has his head up his ass for sure. And he still overall liked the movie, but he needed to be the script isn't good. What's the point of it? Blah, 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 blah. And even then, Ebert's defense of it bothered me too, because he was like, there is no point. These people all live sad existences. And I'm like, I actually think I don't know. I think this movie makes a case for their existence as a family doing what they want to do. I don't know. This is a movie to me about found family. And about dreams, about like sharing dreams and about myth making. Those would be like my major themes in the movie. And it sort of goes around all the stories, though. Of course, our main story would be none other than a Dirk Diggler, played by, at this time, Mark Wahlberg, who had done a couple of movies. I remember he did the movie, and The Big Rubber Dick as well. Oh, I meant to find the VMA thing where the Dick won an award. Hang on, let me see if I can find that. He had done that movie with Reese Witherspoon, where he was like obsessed. He was like an obsessive boyfriend. It's not that good. Okay, wait. Boogie Nights MTV Award Penis. All right, let's see. No, I don't think they have it. I vividly remember when the penis won an MTV Movie Award, the penis prosthetic. But I guess it's lost media. Fear. That is the movie, Fear. There's like a really iconic scene there that I think a lot of people had sexual awakenings to, where he fingers Reese Witherspoon on a roller coaster. Anyway. This was like his first real movie. Like, actually, because when was Three Kings? I want to say Three Kings is after that. That's also a real movie. That's by Spike Jonze. Oh, no, it's not. Spike Jonze is in it. It's by David O. Russell. Psycho. Psycho guy. But it's good. It's got, it also has George Clooney. And it's kind of a cool, different kind of war movie that's not about, and it's about the first Iraq War. And it told a different kind of war story. So I always really appreciated that one. And actually, like, this is one of the main things I want to talk about today is, you know, Mark Wahlberg is a punchline at this point, and he should be. I mean, he's a dipshit. Obviously, we know what he did as a teenager. We know what he did as a teenager. We know... I shouldn't even laugh. Three Kings is 99. That makes sense. We know that he blinded a Vietnamese man in an act of racial hatred, for sure, as a teenager. He also was notably a Calvin Klein model after having a rap career with the song Good Vibrations, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. All right, so like, this is a guy that nobody's ready to take seriously. He's coming from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And then he made Father Stew. Yes, the fine cinematic masterpiece. Now he went from Funky Bunch to Calvin Klein underwear commercials, to like teen like thriller kind of things, like lowbrow like movies, to now he's in leading, you know, Boogie Nights, which is really, Boogie Nights is, you know, it's not Paul Thomas Anderson's first movie, but it is the anointing. This is when he is anointed. Because this movie made such a big splash that it was like, and just the scale of what he did, again, just like such an ensemble film with all these interesting, colorful characters, and how he humanizes these people in this world that is seen as like whatever, dirty and perverse, and it is, and it still has all that. It still has all the filth and dirty stuff, but there's the affection for these people that really comes through. But yeah, Mark Wahlberg is the guy who chooses to lead it, and really, we were going for a while there. Again, now he's a punchline. Now he's Wahlburgers. Now he's Father Stew, and you know, whatever. Like, I mean, there was just a path. There was a span of time from roughly, let's say, Boogie Nights, 1997, through. I'm gonna call it at The Other Guys, which is what, 2010, 2011. With Will Ferrell. And throughout this time, he does The Happening. He does, is it Shooter? My dad loves Shooter, the one where he's just a sniper, and it's called Shooter. Like, he still did all the like garbage stuff within that, but he also does I Heart Huckabees. He does The Departed. He's nominated for an Oscar for The Departed. He's nominated for an Oscar for The Fighter. I mean, The Fighter's fine. But again, that's David O. Russell. But yeah, he's like an actual, he has the ability to be an actual actor. But he also has the ability to just be like, I can also just go make a Transformers movie. And then it seems that at a certain point, that's all he wanted to do. He just really lost interest. Or did he ever even have interest? I mean, like, I think he almost, I don't know. I don't want to psychoanalyze. This isn't the psychoanalyze Mark Wahlberg, but I just do want to say a word that there was a good, 15-year span where Mark Wahlberg actually did make some interesting career choices and some really good movies. In fact, I Heart Huckabees is one that I really have a soft spot for. I really loved it in college, and I still have a lot of affection for it, even though it is also David O. Russell, who is, again, a psychopath, and was a psychopath making that movie. But it's got a great cast. And Mark Wahlberg especially was my favorite watching the movie. He is really good in that movie. It's strange how well he works in the movie. Like, his role is just one of the parts that I think works best in that. But yeah, then he just cashes in all his chips to make a prayer app. Of course, Ted and Ted 2. Yeah, these are some of because I think The Other Guys is a smart comedy. It's a really good comedy. It's like the way that it's like parodies action movies while also like tying in that parody into like a commentary on the type of law enforcement that matters most to us that we just completely neglect and don't care about. Financial crimes, and the people that do the biggest robbery and theft are always the billionaires. And and Adam McKay made that movie, and then he put a cool little PowerPoint animated at the end, and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's cool, it's a cool little thing. I kind of hope he doesn't make this his whole new thing, but it's cool for this. And then you want to go back in a time machine and be like, sorry, he's going to make just the PowerPoint part, that's going to become his whole thing. That's going to be the thing that he wants to do. And then him and Will Ferrell are going to get in a big fight because on his bad TV show about the Lakers, he didn't cast Will Ferrell as Jerry Buss and instead cast Will Ferrell's other very good friend, John C. Reilly. But they're cool. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell are still cool. And John C. Reilly is in this movie. You want to know something else about John C. Reilly, folks? Well, he was born May 24th, 1964, I think. And I was born May 24th, 1986. And Alfred Molina, also in this movie, was born May 24th, 1955, I think. 50-something. And Bob Dylan, Robert Zimmerman, was born May 24th, 1940-something. Or 30-something. I don't know when the fuck he was born. So yeah, May 24th, babies. Shout out. This was actually a really cool thing, but I put a clip from the William H. Macy Adam Friedland show, which is a great interview as well. But the John C. Reilly interview is also really, really, really great. If you haven't, I don't know if maybe you don't watch Adam Friedland show, but I think that his interview with John C. Reilly was really, really awesome. Because they're just kind of genuine guys, just sort of chatting and shooting the shit. And John C. Reilly loves Bob Dylan. He actually is kind of like obsessive fan of Bob Dylan. He talks a lot about it, and he talks about how, he has the same birthday as him. And I'm like, I know, because I do too. It's birthday with you. And Alfred Molina, and back to Cloud Atlas, Jim Broadbent. And this is like, these are my character actor gods. All right. Both John C. Reilly and Jim Broadbent and Alfred Molina. Crazy. But John C. Reilly, like, this is also like, I mean, John C. Reilly after this movie goes on a run where he is in every other movie. He is in, like, especially like of the Oscar movies of the early 2000s, he would be in just casually in a bunch of them. He would be like, yeah, he's in The Hours. Yeah, he's Julianne Moore's husband in The Hours, and he's also in Chicago. And he's nominated for an Oscar in Chicago. It's like, he's in, yeah, of course he's in Gangs of New York. Yeah, he's one of the guys in Gangs of New York. He's got a big top hat on, of course. Like, he was just, John C. Reilly was in everything, and it really, I do think, was Boogie Nights that really kind of launched him. Of course, we also have Julianne Moore. What can you say? What can you say? Of course, Walk Hard is brilliant. Walk Hard is so good. And this is the other thing. Why aren't they putting John C. Reilly in more musicals? What the hell's it gonna take? He loves doing it. Like, this is the other thing. The whole reason that he does the Adam Friedland show and he's doing the interviews now and stuff is because now he's doing, like, club dates where he sings, like, old-timey songs. He does, like, a fucking show that DBJ would come for. It's just him singing old standards or whatever. It's basically him doing his Chicago thing of singing Mr. Cellophane, like those kind of songs. It's like Mr. Romantic or something is his new persona that he's doing, and it's like a hopeless romantic kind of clownish type character. Just really great. And I have to say, rewatching Boogie Nights, it's been a few years since I've last watched it. So when I rewatched it this week, it really made me so happy. Like, my heart was glowing just seeing him in this movie and seeing in his character Dr. Steve Brule and Dale Doback from Step Brothers. They're both so present. They're so present in Reed Rothschild / Chest Rockwell in the movies. In the Brock Landers movies. We love Chest Rockwell. And we love Reed Rothschild. Now, Julianne Moore, like, this is the run of movies of her going from, like, oh, this is a really impressive young actor in Vanya on 42nd Street and the bigger one, Shortcuts, which we talked about on the show before, and she's great in Shortcuts. And she starts to be in a little, things that she starts, like, she does 9 Months with Hugh Grant. Who's seen 9 Months with Hugh Grant and Tom Arnold and Joan Cusack and Robin Williams as the goofy doctor? That was a movie that we rented, and I don't know why, as a child, I just loved it. I think it was just because I loved Robin Williams. And he's a very much like almost a cameo. He's like 2 or 3 scenes, but he's like the delivery scene, like the big thing. It's not very good, I don't think, but anyway, Julianne Moore's in that. And then this is like around the same time almost as or maybe a year before Big Lebowski, which of course wasn't a success initially, and now is like one of the biggest pop culture movies with one of the defining movies of building a cult status. It's like right up there with Rocky Horror and shit. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's the blueprint of a cult classic in some ways. Big Lebowski. But Julianne Moore in this movie, I think, is one of the most overtly, like, affecting arcs of a character in this movie. I think it's notable that, like, Siskel called her out as being one of the very good characters in the movie, of having like a good clear through line kind of thing. But she's also sort of like the real sort of beating heart of this whole family. And so when we talk about this found family, we have to talk, of course, about the patriarch and the patriarchy. No, we're just going to talk about Jack Horner, played by, of course, Burt Reynolds. Now, here's a thing. My dad, in the 70s, looked so much like Burt Reynolds that his friends would call him Burt. And I've seen the pictures. He actually really did. He really did look a lot like Burt Reynolds in the 70s too. Like, hello. So now I also have fatherly feelings towards him naturally. But of course, this is like of a pair of actually second films by filmmakers who would go on, who are still two of the great directors that we still anticipate and talk about all their movies that they released today. They both released movies last year, and they both have the last name Anderson. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson in their second movies that really, or I guess, never mind. That was the third movie. I forgot about Bottle Rocket. I'm so sorry, Bottle Rocket fans. I like Bottle Rocket too. Don't come for me. I forgot about Bottle Rocket. So sorry I forgot about Bottle Rocket. But I am thinking of Royal Tenenbaums, sort of taking the Rushmore was a huge success, and then taking it another level kind of is really and it's again about a family, different characters, different storylines going that to sort of all wrangle together. And led by a Hollywood legend who gives a brilliant performance, universally praised and loved, who hated making the movie and did not get along with the director. Both of these movies share this. And of course, Burt Reynolds and Paul Thomas Anderson did not really get on so well. Apparently, I watched a few interviews with Paul Thomas Anderson talking about their relationship. And, the way that it sounds is that, it wasn't always doomed. They had days that were really good. And, he talked about one of the early shooting days was when they shot the hot tub scene where John C. Reilly and Mark Wahlberg, Dirk Diggler, actually when he comes up with the name Dirk Diggler. And it's just the three guys, Burt Reynolds, John C. Reilly, and Mark Wahlberg in the 15 stream streak. Thank you, Spanker. Talking in the and really starting the whole journey of Dirk Diggler in this hot tub. And Paul Thomas Anderson talked about actually having the out of body experience kind of moment as he's filming this, where he's I'm directing a scene that has John C. Reilly, who I just did a movie with and I love dearly, and then it has these two other great actors. One of them is a legend that I've loved in films for 25 years, whatever. And they're reading my scene, they're reading my words in a in a hot tub, and I'm filming it, and it's crazy. So that was definitely part of it, but also famously Burt Reynolds just didn't want to do the movie, and as he said in the interview with Conan, he never watched the movie, or at least he claims he never watched it. Because he was just I don't want to be in a movie about porn. Here's the thing, though. You want to know what other movie Burt Reynolds is fucking in? Let me make sure I'm not mistaking this. No, he is. Let me show you what other fucking movie this guy that is so embarrassed by Boogie Nights is in. One of the worst movies. Well, a hateful movie, actually, in some ways. He's also a porn magnate in GTA Vice City. Yeah, but that he doesn't have to, show his face. But here, he plays a really shitty guy, too. A really shitty part in Striptease. And maybe that was it. Maybe that's because that was the year before, and it was already not doing well, so he especially didn't want to. Maybe that was part of it. He especially didn't want to do Boogie Nights. I don't know. But he really didn't want to do it. And then eventually they got him. And the only thing that made him not hate being associated with it was that he got nominated for awards. He won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor. And, he was even, I think, expected to win the Oscar. I forget who actually won. Hang on a second. I gotta see who won the Oscar. What the what page is this? Oh, the Duran Duran Wikipedia. Why am I on here? Oh, I just realized I'm still sharing this. Why am I on the Duran Duran Wikipedia? Now I remember. We watched Duran Duran's performing at a MDA telethon. Let's see. Best supporting actor. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 1990s. Oh, is Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting. Which, great, pretty good win. Oh man, this is a fucking banger lineup, actually. And I'm looking at this knowing that the only one of these movies I'd seen at the time was As Good as It Gets, Greg Kinnear. That's the worst one of these nominations. Although I actually haven't seen Amistad, but Anthony Hopkins is nominated for that for John Quincy Adams. But then you have Burt Reynolds, Jack Horner, Boogie Nights, Robert Forster, Max Cherry, Jackie Brown. That would have been my vote, actually. If I had been voting in the Academy in this year, I'm voting Robert Forster, Jackie Brown, personally. Great nom. Great performance. And then Robin Williams won. Not bad. Good stacked year. I think it was maybe between Burt Reynolds and Robin Williams in how it actually shook out. And then he kind of grew to like it. But yeah, this movie's about porno. It's about people that made porno in the 1970s. I think it's worth noting that, Paul Thomas Anderson himself grew up, in the LA area in the 70s. Licorice Pizza gets into that. It's kind of his most openly autobiographical kind of thing. It's also problematic age gap discourse. Don't worry, we're not talking about it this month. No. Next week, we still got more to talk about here, but I'm just preparing you that a week from today, that's right, Valentine's Day, as we move into the 2000s, am I going to talk about his very romantic movie, Punch Drunk Love? No. On Valentine's Day, we're going to talk about There Will Be Blood. The least romantic movie ever. Like, not a single bit of romance going on in that thing. Maybe the least romantic Paul Thomas Anderson movie, if I'm thinking about it. The Master. The Master. And speaking of The Master, this is actually... Oh, sorry. Let me... One topic at a time. Paul Thomas Anderson grew up in L.A. He grew up around the Valley, and he talked... Another interview I saw, he talked about, growing up, seeing stuff being filmed, and being able to tell when it's like a real production, when it's a TV production or whatever, seeing trailers and, crew and all this stuff going around, and how it's like, okay, this thing filming here is like a real movie, or, maybe, it's a smaller crew, it's like a TV. It's a TV thing. It's a Columbo episode, whatever. And then he would see, like, on his street, there's, like, a single van in somebody's driveway. And then there's, like, people bringing in lighting fixtures or whatever. But it's just, like, a few guys. And all the curtains are blacked out on the windows. And then it's like, what's that? What's going on in there? And it's like, well, those were they're making porno movies. So he has, like, sort of a connection to it. And, of course, I'm sure as a horny kid also he was watching them. And then... But also as a movie person, I think he started to have a kind of like camp appreciation for it. He actually used the word camp, or like he started to kind of get a sort of affection, I think, for the filmmaking in them, because it is true, and the movie kind of talks about it, that like they did make an effort to have like actual storylines and things, at least somewhat. Some did. And then as you got into the 80s and you got into videotape, it just became much cheaper to produce, and nobody cared about all that stuff, and it was just about volume and it just cranking stuff out or whatever. Cranking stuff out, if you know what I mean. And that's all in the movie, the transition from film to video. And there's also a very like potent like when I talk about the dreams, it's all about this dream that Jack Horner and Burt Reynolds sells to Dirk Diggler, to Eddie, Mark Wahlberg, of, these movies can actually, they can be movies, and they can be sexy, and they can have the sex in them, but we can make like real movies. And it's like he becomes such a father to, obviously it's all family, and there's the really awful, traumatic scene of Dirk getting yelled at by his mom and thrown out of his house and being called stupid and all this stuff, and you get like he's coming from a place with not much love and getting taken in by these people who really appreciate him and just genuinely appear to really love him. And what I love about in my most recent viewing, the thing, and I wrote it in my Letterboxd review, that really jumped out to me is that part of the reason that I feel that Burt Reynolds has such a strong connection and affection for Mark Wahlberg is because he totally buys into that dream. Like that, he's like, I want to be a part of that too. And it's like, that's another the reason that I really love this movie is because it is about, creative people. They're making movies. They're creating something together. And, as someone that comes from theater, I've also directed. I've taken directing classes. And, there's a director character. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson telling a story about at least one of the main characters is as a director. If he had made this later in his career, people would be like, what does that director mean? What is he saying about movies? And I guess you can sort of find those metaphors in here too if you want. But I think it makes him just kind of get to exist more as his own person, Burt Reynolds does. But like one of the things that if you're in any group that's led by a director, a theater troupe, or anything, is the best way. And when I took directing classes in college, there were a couple books I really loved. One called On Directing. I forget the name of the author of that one. And the other one is A Director Prepares by Anne Bogart. And one of the things that both of those books really stressed over and over again is that the job of the director is to get everyone else excited about your vision. Like, to get everyone else to want to do that and feel like they are a part of making it and that they are making their own autonomous choices to contribute to that it becomes a thing that you're all doing together. This is what I really want to talk about with Paul Thomas Anderson this entire month, especially as we get to, like, the movie that he's going to win an Oscar for, or at least is going to win Best Picture. I'm calling it. I'm not even mincing my words here. And they haven't even, all the precursors haven't happened yet. And people think maybe, Sinners got more nominations. No. Babe Ruth calling my shot. He's winning Best Picture. I'm not going to call Best Director, but he was at least winning Best Picture. Gitson. Oh, yes, look at God. Actually, Gitson, in honor of that, I wanted to share this because I don't think I'm going to get rated. But I did make a special raid alert, and don't worry, it will be the raid alert going forward. I don't see myself changing it, but I do want to play it. Let me pause the music real fast. Okay. I'm really, really proud of this raid alert, everybody. Here we go.
They often say she's an ageless wonder. Her lust for life makes this lady tick. When a young man looks at Madame, she just throws herself right at him. She's young at heart and still getting her kick.
In that Madam's place, she's a primetime queen. She's just stuff on the TV screen. Outrageous charms, buildings, funny farms. We call Madam's place. All right. So there you go. That is saying the raid alert. I love that. I love it too much. Hopefully I get rated at some point. But yeah, I love and also it is funny to think about Madam in the context of Boogie Nights. Like, that at least some of these characters knew about Madam. They were like, I was watching the new Laugh-In. They got Madam on there. I also am trying to, I don't know the exact timeline of this movie. I want to say starts maybe like 77, 78. Obviously, we have the New Year's Eve 1980, William H. Macy, but bam, of course, hello. Which is another thing I want to talk about. Paul's influences, like how it's clear, like he doesn't hide them in this movie, but he also he's great. But I think it ends. I want to say it ends somewhere in 1983, 1984, and if 1984. It's Madam's Place time. Maybe Dirk Diggler comes back to the house at the end. He asks for forgiveness from Jack Horner. Maybe there's a TV playing somewhere in the house. It's daytime. It's daytime TV. maybe Madam's Place is playing. I don't know. I like to imagine that. Oh yeah, Gitson, thank you for mentioning Scotty. Because this is, sadly, I fucked up. I fucked up with the movie choices, and this is another reason that I was thinking about, oh, should I switch to Punch Drunk Love next week? But no, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna stick to I really want to talk about There Will Be Blood, because that's the last time Paul got closest to winning Best Picture, Best Director. But that's a crazy year, and I'm excited to talk about the year, and that's another reason I want to talk about it. But yeah, and then we're doing a Phantom Thread, and obviously I went Phantom Thread over the Master just because I have more personal connection to Phantom Thread, though I like the Master as well. So this is the only Philip Seymour Hoffman we're getting, and he is an actor that Paul Thomas Anderson has called his muse. He called him his muse. You know, they were also very close friends. And then and there's something really sweet about casting his son as young Paul Thomas Anderson. That's kind of sweet. But this would also be one of the first times that I saw Philip Seymour Hoffman. And again, would have then seen him right after in The Big Lebowski. Like this, he is another one like Julianne Moore. I mean, except he was a good bit younger than Julianne Moore, at least a few years. So he had done some like young actor like sort of roles. But this is very much like now in his 20s or whatever, or maybe he's pushing 30. And he starts popping up more and more and more, and you get Big Lebowski after this, then you get stuff like Along Came Polly, and also he was always popping up in like Twister or whatever. He's always one of those guys too. He was always just filling out the cast. But you always noticed him. You always remembered him. You always were like, this is a guy. This is a real guy there. That, like, maybe some of the other actors or whatever, but like that guy's a guy. He's great in even movies that kind of suck, like Charlie Wilson's War, the Aaron Sorkin movie, not very good, but he's great in it. I love Philip Seymour. I mean, he was one of the best to ever do it. A true genius. Obviously, we'll talk more Philip Seymour Hoffman movies, and he is, he's a tragic character in this movie as well, because everybody loves Eddie, but he really he loves Eddie, or I should say Dirk, because they call him Dirk. He loves Dirk, and that's not gonna happen, and it's like a whole thing, and Scotty's just but he's such a sweet like heart, and also Dirk is so sweet too, that Dirk doesn't want to hurt him, being like, I love you too, man, like it's like, it's not like that, I don't know. And I also have a theory. Of course, Mark Wahlberg. Now, there's some debate over this. Mark Wahlberg saying that he wishes he could take this back, or he could atone. Like, apparently, like, some of that may have been taken out of context, or like, he was maybe joking. But there is some chatter that this is not one of the movies that he's really proud of necessarily, because of the subject matter. And he's, of course, a Christian. He has his prayer app. So like, why did I bring this up? Fuck. I had a point. Oh, yes, that's right. Scotty. My theory is it's the scene with Scotty kissing him that he really doesn't like. That's the one. That's the one that he actually really doesn't like. It doesn't, I don't think it has an unhappy ending, though. I do think, he has a place in that world. He has a place, he has a family, he has a whole, I don't like this one. He has a place, a purpose, and he's welcomed back also, like, and that's the true, like, that's the other thing is that, like, this family and a found and chosen family, is that's a big part of being a family is forgiving people, and him saying I'm sorry, you know, him having to apologize. He knows that he fucked up, but like also I think the reason that he goes crazy is also really well supported, because here's a guy that is like treated like shit his entire life by everybody because they think he's stupid and they don't take him seriously, and he's not good in school. He doesn't seem to have any clear skills to people. And then overnight, he gets welcomed in by these beautiful people that are literally sucking his dick and fucking him. And he's immediately celebrated, thrown awards at him, you know, heralded as this like revolutionary figure in the industry. And you know, again, and yeah, he's not also the smartest guy. So all that adds to like his huge ego. And I do think that it's interesting. Like this movie, I do think it's a comedy, like because but it's the kind of comedy where it's all played straight, but the people are just kind of, you know, whatever. They're like a little out there, kind of. Don Cheadle's great in this movie, man. I really love his character. That's like, and it's because it's not just like they're stupid. It's like they have their own ways of thinking. Like they're whatever. Like they're more interested in, you know, starting a stereo system store, like, and they don't want to be told about, you know, why they can't do that because they've done porn. Like they just, I don't know, they have dreams, and and then they just support each other, and that's like why I kind of actually, him being welcomed back in the end is sort of like lovely. Yeah, I mean Jack is kind of grooming him a bit, yeah, a bit, but at the same time, Dirk chooses like he comes, I guess they tell him to get in the car. Never mind. I was gonna say, but he chooses to come back there, to go there when you know, he gets thrown out of his house, because he felt like valued there, and that's really what it is. And there's also the really beautiful scene. Of course, Julianne Moore's character is very tragic because she is a woman that has a ex-husband and a son that she's left, and she's not allowed to see her son because of what she does. But she also acts as a mother to everybody. She's like so maternal, which she's both maternal and fucking Mark Wahlberg. So there is some Oedipal energy going on between them all the time, for sure. But I really love the scene with her and Heather Graham, where Heather Graham asks her if she would be her mom. It's really sweet. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what you realize is it's like, yeah, are these people bright? Is this the most glamorous life? Are things going to go great for them in the adult industry? Maybe not, but you know what? They're worthy of love. They're people that are, like, worthy of being valued by other people. Like, that's the thing is I actually, like, people, like, thought that he was too cruel to these characters, or he was looking down on them or something, and then he's, like, Paul was very, like, I love these people. I think they're, I don't know, they're really sweet. And even when they're going off and kind of going crazy, and Thomas Jane is getting them into all kinds of mess, Alfred Molina's friend is throwing firecrackers, and he's playing Russian roulette. Like, you know, they're off on their ways, but they're gonna find their way back. I don't know. It's a really lovely movie. Honestly, like, I don't know. I really love it. Okay, let's see some of my stray notes, if there's anything I haven't talked about yet. Oh, I did the exact dream as Jack Horner describes it to Dirk is, it is my dream to make a film that is true and right and dramatic. And I don't know, there's something like, is that also Paul's dream? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's his connection, is like, even if these aren't like the most highest minded, like they aren't Reynolds Woodcock out here. We'll get there later. But yeah, he actually, like, he's sincere in that dream. And like one of my favorite lines is when they're editing they're editing the first Brock Landers movie with Ricky Jay. Oh, Ricky Jay's all over this movie. Oh, he's so good. He's so good in this movie. I love seeing Ricky Jay constantly in this movie. Oh, I just love him. Oh, I just love him. But when they're editing the first Brock Landers movie, and and Burt Reynolds says, I think this is gonna be the picture I'm remembered for. And it's like when they're having the like really bad like slap fight with Luis Guzman, who's also fantastic in this movie. It's really, really good. But again, he's completely sincere. Oh, a little bit more on Dirk's home life. I really love the first shot when Sister Christian is playing and he's in his bedroom and it's just that 360 shot. I mean, what a way to introduce a character. Just like the posters on his wall, where he is emotionally, like maturity wise, like what his interests are, which are like cars, hot girls, like, who this guy is, seeing him like do his karate poses and stuff. That just slow 360 pan of his bedroom walls and is so good right off the jump. Now his mom is played by Joanna Gleason, who I love because she's a stage actor. She's a Broadway actress, musical actress. She was the Baker's Wife in Into the Woods, one of my favorite Sondheim lady performances. Really, really good. So I started to talk about this, and then I wanted to make sure I finished my other point. Paul Thomas Anderson is, a student of film, as all directors are. You don't get to be a director if you're not interested in film and watching other people's films and seeing what excites you about them and what you want to emulate or respond to or whatever. All right, it's enough closer. We'll go to the next one. But here, I think his influences, like, it's not Tarantino, who, by the way, Tarantino was already a big name because of Pulp Fiction at this point, and he released Jackie Brown the same year here, and they were like directly competing in some ways. Quentin is such an inferior. It's anytime you hear him talking about Paul Thomas Anderson, like There Will Be Blood, we'll get into it next week. The insecurity is glaring because whereas Quentin Tarantino will reference, like Kill Bill, like he will do the direct references to whatever, Shaw Brothers, Kung Fu, Sonny Chiba, like whatever he wants to reference. Paul, like you see the Robert Altman influence in this movie, big time. It's a big ensemble. There's multiple things happening at once. People are talking over each other. The camera's moving here, moving there, and there's simultaneous things happening in this big group action, and there's all these different characters that all have different relationships with each other that are constantly moving. Robert Altman, all right? And then you also have Marty, right? Marty Scorsese. And to me, like, the biggest parallel is when William H. Macy shoots himself as it becomes 1980. It's such a clear moment in the movie where it's like, up until that point, it is party time. Everything is great, and it's sunshine and roses. Everything's going better and better and better. That happens, and it's just like things start going wrong. The wheels start coming off a bit after at that point, and that's so Goodfellas to me. Like, that is so the same journey of Goodfellas. I remember when the first time I watched Goodfellas was early days of DVD, and they couldn't fit the whole thing on one side, so you had to flip the DVD over, and it was like they put that flip like at the same point as then it's like, oh, then they pull off the great heist, and then like Samuel L. Jackson gets killed, and then everybody starts getting killed, like one after another, and then it all starts going wrong. I think that this is a bit gentler than this. And then the other influence that I see a lot here is Brian De Palma, in that sort of like really poppy kind of like in your face like camera movement, and there's also split screens, which is always De Palma. There's some split screen moments. There's the like incorporating like Amber Wave's documentary about Dirk and like using that to kind of tell the story, which is actually a little bit like that's almost like Wellsy. That like goes back to Citizen Kane almost. Like there's a lot happening here, but he's taking all these elements, and then ultimately it's a Paul Thomas Anderson, and it is, and it's we're gonna see along with all the other movies, and he never makes the same kind of movie twice. He doesn't like, and that's like totally counter to Martin Scorsese or Robert Altman as well. Though Altman is similar in that, is that he liked to do, he liked to jump around. Also, a lot of Altman guys. I mean, Philip Baker Hall, who plays the, money guy who replaces the colonel after the colonel goes to prison, and then he makes them. Oh, that's another thing I love is that when Dirk and Jack Horner have their falling out, you see not only like Dirk spinning out trying to do his music career or whatever, but you also see Jack just totally like detaching from anything. You see him just stop caring because he's being forced into making video. He hates it. It's lowbrow. The guy he has replacing Dirk is doing all the things that Dirk said he never wanted to do, like, treating women badly, like smacking them around and stuff like that. But Jack is like so detached, he doesn't even care. He's just driving around in the limo with a camcorder and Roller Girl, and that scene's really rough. And like, it will be PTA's Popeye. Oh, I would love PTA to make a Popeye. It's like you see, like he's now just like so depressed, and I think that when Dirk comes back at the end and they embrace, like that hug is like really so, what a moment, that like he embraces him so tightly, and it's like he's reminded like it's the dream that connects them, and it's that dream that brings them back together, and he's reminded of why he actually did this, and like I don't know, he sees the opportunity to try it again, and sure, it probably won't work out, but like, don't we love that these people found each other even if it doesn't ultimately work out? They're gonna try again. I don't know. I just think it's a really, really special kind of movie. Yeah, that's actually all my notes. This is good. Hey, this is a no call-in episode, and that's fine. They don't all have to call in. I mean, I guess I'll hang out for like 5 more minutes if anybody does want to, but it's also fine not to. Anybody else in the chat have any thoughts? Before we start signing off here. And yes, this is a Super Mario 64 remix of Idiotech by Radiohead. Again, I'm really into sound fonts. If you find any good sound fonts, send them to me. I've got a playlist here. I'm mad that I forgot to play it for the first half of this stream. And mostly I just kind of want to hang on for Fate of the Worm. I'm so excited for Fate of the Worm. Oh, when will David Carradine month be? I like Keith Carradine a lot, actually. Keith Carradine, obviously big collaborator with Robert Altman. Oh, and that was the other thing I want to talk about. Philip Baker Hall, in one of my favorite Robert Altman's, A Secret Honor, where he plays Richard Nixon. One-man movie. He's the only person in the movie. It's him in Richard Nixon's home office or whatever, writing his memoirs, just railing at all the people who did him wrong. Yeah, Nashville Oscar winner for songwriting, Keith Carradine. That's right. Oh, yeah. Rockstar. I do remember Rockstar. That was a weird one. And it was weird because also he was not singing. Like, why did... Or was he a guitar... He wasn't playing guitar either. Whatever he did in the rock band, he didn't do. And then, some years later, they would make Rock of Ages, which isn't a good movie, but Tom Cruise does his own singing, and he's legit. He's legit. Tom Cruise is so good in Rockstar, a bad movie that he is so good in. It's actually crazy. and he looks like fucking Bret Michaels somehow. It's crazy. But he sounds better than Bret Michaels. And then he hasn't sung before or since. I was like, Tom Cruise, you could fucking sing all this time? What the fuck? Let's get him in a movie with John C. Reilly doing a musical. And Tom Cruise is in Magnolia. Now, Magnolia is like 2 years after this. When's right? Yep, 99. That's what comes next. And so also a lot of PTA-bruary is about my thesis that 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now the 2020s, every one of these decades, Paul Thomas Anderson can confidently lay claim, or one could make the argument that he made the best film of that decade. With the 90s, you could argue Boogie Nights, or you could argue Magnolia if you wanted to. I would take that argument either way. For the 2000s, I would say it's pretty safely There Will Be Blood. But also, Punch Drunk Love is a totally unique movie. It's nothing else like it. It's when people, like, one of the first times people are like, oh wait, Adam Sandler can, like, really act. Like, he actually can, like, apply his whole crazy energy into an interesting way. And so much of that was because Paul wrote it, like, for him. Like, and that's also a great Philip Seymour Hoffman in that one. But yeah, I'm saying pretty confidently There Will Be Blood is the 2000s. And again, that would be a popular choice. Like, if you polled a bunch of filmmakers, critics, whatever, best movies of the 2000s, you know, except it came out in 2007, and it came out against No Country for Old Men, and that's also an excellent movie. Like, could they have just tied? This is the other thing about the Oscars. Why does there only have to be one? Like, we should be able to, if there's two people who are absolutely stellar at acting, why can't they both win? Why is it only one? There's another thing that bothers me about the Oscars, is that they expanded the Best Picture nominees to 10. And I think that, honestly, that's been a positive change. I think that's only been good. But they're still doing 5 acting nominees, strict limit. Emmys now do up to, like, 7. Golden Globes do 6, I think, for each category. Like, they could at least go up to 6. I think they should do 6 acting nominees for each category. It's another thing. It's not enough people get recognized. And you should be able to have ties. Guess what? Guess what does allow for ties for Best Picture? The Bobskers. Because in 2023, for the 2022 films, the Bobsker for Best Picture was a tie with Elvis and Tar. All right? This is, check the record. So, go to the 2010s. For me, the best movie of the 2010s is Phantom Thread. Okay? Completely. Love Phantom Thread. But I could also see somebody saying, I think the best movie of the 2010s is The Master. And absolutely, make the case. I will hear it. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to say the best movie of the 2010s is Inherent Vice. I'm going to tell you, no, that's not true. And I like Inherent Vice. I think it's a great hang. It's very much like a Big Lebowski, right? It's like a sort of like a Big Lebowski and a Long Goodbye, kind of LA stoner noir, which is a great genre that I like. Under the Silver Lake, like those kind of movies. I'm all for it, but it's not the best. It's not the best picture. 2010s. Okay, but now we go into the 2020s, and we're halfway through it. So more than halfway through. Actually, a lot more than halfway through it at this point. We only have a few years left. And one battle after another has really really threw the gauntlet in a major way. I may still be giving the edge at this point for my favorite movie of the 2020s I think is still Drive My Car personally. But I don't know. Maybe, I mean, every time I watch, I've now watched One Battle After Another, I think 3 times. And it is just excellent. It's so good. I'm so excited. We will close out with that. That will be the first time that we talk about any kind of relatively recent film in this movie, on this chat show. Yeah, that'll be the most recent film discussed by far. Surpassing Suspiria, the Suspiria remake by Luca Guadagnino. That's currently... Oh, wait, no, actually, no, sorry. Avatar Way of the Water. Avatar Way of the Water is the most recent film discussed on here. For Franchise Fest. But yeah. We got a great month ahead of us. I mean... Paul Thomas Anderson, again, is just one of these guys that he just does quality work quietly. He's not like he's not a Quentin Tarantino and like wanting to make himself or like a Spike Lee or somebody like that is very much like their character is like a part of the movie. Like it's almost like an extension of them, you know, like Woody Allen even, like, you know, and we will get into all the other stuff with Woody Allen, but I'm just saying, like, if we are to separate the art from the artist just for a moment, but we're not going to get too far into it, that his films always are very much of his voice and like an extension of his persona, kind of. Whereas Paul is more of like an enigma a bit. He's very kind of soft-spoken. He seems like a really genuine, great guy that you could just have an easy conversation with. He's always hanging out at Largo in Los Angeles, so you know he's cool. He was at this time he's like friends with Amy Mann and John Bryan and stuff, and like. I also wanted to mention the composer of this score of Boogie Nights is, we talked about it a bit last night, Michael Penn, the singer-songwriter, the song I really love, No Myth, and husband of Amy Mann, who then contributes songs for Magnolia. In fact, famously, Paul listened to Amy Mann exclusively throughout writing Magnolia, so that's why she is like so in the soundtrack, and she's a integral part of that movie. Was nominated for an Oscar for Best Song for that movie, and yeah, was the wife of the man who composed the movie before. Actually, did he do this one? Who actually, or was it John Bryan that did the score for? Yeah, John Bryan did the score for Magnolia, right? And then he also he did Punch Drunk Love as well. But then, starting next week, we're Johnny Greenwood time, baby. Johnny Greenwood through the rest of our movies are Johnny Greenwood. We were listening to a Radio Tech Sound Font song earlier. I am planning to do some Radiohead live performances next Friday and stuff, so we can see some old Johnny Greenwood. Sorry, we'll also have to see stupid fucking Zionist Tom York. Sorry. But Johnny Greenwood rules. And Johnny Greenwood is also, I think his politics are better from what I understand. And he does a great score for One Battle After Another. But my favorite Johnny Greenwood score is Phantom Thread. And I'm excited to talk about that as well. But yeah, you know, I'm just trying to basically hang out here because until DVJ goes live now at this point, just because I'm like, oh, rate him, but maybe not. Maybe I won't even. Now I'm just babbling. Just a babbling brook, babbling Bob over here. So yeah, I guess I'll start wrapping it up then instead, and say that this has been the Good Movie Chat about Boogie Nights. I mean, I didn't get into everything. Let me take another look at this cast, see if there's anybody I'm forgetting. Also, this is fucked up. Hang on a second. So this is ranked by popularity. Boogie Nights is near the bottom. It's in the lower half. I'm surprised Punch Drunk Love is this high, actually. That's crazy to me. Like, I understand Phantom Thread, Master, Inherent Vice, Hard 8, certainly. Anyway, all these movies are excellent. All of these movies are quite good. and we're going to talk about some more this month. But tomorrow, 6 p.m. Also, so starting next, I guess, yeah, it is just its age. And, also, you know what it is that these fucking Gen Z can't watch movies with sex in it. It's too upsetting for them. Too soft. They're too soft to see one of the most indelible images of my, what year did it? Of my 11-year-old or 12-year-old when I saw this on HBO, seeing Heather Graham say, "Are we gonna fuck now?" and takes off her whole thing, and then you see in the words of Patrick Stewart, I've seen everything. They can't handle that. That's why we're the greatest generation. We're taking it back. Millennials are taking it back. We're the greatest generation now. Very Barkhad Abdi. Look at me. Look at me. I am the greatest generation now. Julianne Moore is very naked. I will say, if you like Julianne Moore naked and you haven't seen Shortcuts, you should watch Shortcuts, because it is actually one of the craziest nudity scenes ever. But it's really it's like funny. It's good. And in fact, it's partially why she got the part in Shortcuts, was because the person who was originally going to play her part didn't feel comfortable doing that scene. That person got cast in another role, and she stepped in to do that one. Oh no! I thought that it was the other way. I thought that it was Tom York that was more of the Let's Perform in Israel, and that Johnny Greenwood was, his wife was like a activist for, but maybe I'm confusing it with someone else in the band or something. Anyway, all these really matter. I mean, it does, the thoughts matter, but I mean, the artists and all that. I always thought that it was Tom York that was more of a douche, but Johnny Greenwood has done some really fantastic film scores. I mean, I think that he's right. Him and Trent Reznor are right there, of going seamlessly from popular music into film scoring and just being excellent right away. So really, really excited to talk more about that next week. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., we are going to be watching some stuff. We're going to be watching a movie. Now, I think there's something on TV tomorrow at 6, but if you're like me, you don't give a shit about that. And so if you don't give a shit about the big game, I don't want to get sued. If you aren't interested in the big game, we're going to be watching a documentary about Bigfoots. And let me tell you, folks, if it is half as entertaining as Leonard Nimoy's Family Guide to Surviving Y2K, it's going to be awesome. Also, I am really excited that last night we did find that really crazy guy from that Y2K Survival Guide VHS. And I found the 2-hour VHS that he made about survivaling, doing doomsday prepping, basically. I don't want to watch it all in one sitting. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to chip away at that one. We're just gonna watch 10 minutes at a time or something. But we'll start that later. Yeah, that's right. This is gonna be better than the game for sure, and definitely better than the commercials, which are just depressing. Honestly, does anybody enjoy them? Now I just find them depressing, right? Because half of it's for betting and AI and crypto, and that's depressing on one thing. And then it's also big actors having to do it. And it's oh, you have a mortgage / Hollywood's in such a bad place now that this is these are the jobs that you have to do because they aren't making movies in the way they used to. It's all just depressing to me at this point. So if you don't want to get depressed and instead you want to learn about Bigfoots and oh god, the host is also, what's the host name? Bigfoot Mysterious Monster. Here we go. The Mysterious Monsters. Peter Graves. Yeah, that's right. Peter Graves from Airplane. You'll recognize him. He's a big TV actor at the time. Gray hair. He's gonna be really good. Oh, DBJ's live. All right, great. So that's gonna be tomorrow. Next week on this stream is at 8 p.m. We will do There Will Be Blood. Can you tell that my brain is now officially fried? Thanks everybody for hanging out. You're all the best. You're the best chat on Twitch. Goodbye. Yeah, here, I'll keep the letterboxed up for this. This is what we're watching tomorrow. All right. See y'all. Let's see what happens to this worm. And we'll catch you later. Goodbye.
First donation for both. $12 to release the worm. $12 for worm freedom.
Live in your grave. You live in your grave. City your dreams. City your Scully in the gully.
Thank you for the raid, Goo Goo.
Only in the burrows.